www.999wefm.com. WeFM News, online, on demand.
Good afternoon and welcome to WeFM's Midday News, brought to you with the kind compliments of Court St. Vincent Limited.
Jump in the line this carnival season with Quartz Ready Cash. Get a loan of up to $20,000 to help you get ready for the road. Plus, with any loan of $5,000 or more, we will pay your first installment. Also, you pay zero deposit and you get cash in hand in as little as 24 hours. There's nothing to pay for 60 days and we have the most flexible payment terms. Don't miss the vibes this carnival. Call us at 456-1325 for more information or visit www.readyfinancecaribbean.com. Conditions apply. Quartz Ready Cash. Ready when you are.
Welcome back to WeFM's Midday News, brought to you with the kind compliments of Court St. Vincent Limited. I am your presenter, Rajiv Providence. First, on the local scene, the Miss SVG pageant is set to take place on the night of October 29th, 2022, with all 8 contestants unveiled at a sashing ceremony held earlier this week. Chairman of the Carnival Development Corporation, Ricardo Adams, explained that this move to October will benefit the pageant in numerous ways. One of the benefits mentioned by the CDC chairman is the increased focus that will be placed on it. We hear more from Mr. Adams.
A couple of years ago, we had discussed the possibility of moving the Miss SVG to an October timeframe. And we took that decision for a number of reasons. And the principal among that was the fact that it could then get its own focus, stand as a more cultural heritage type of Miss SVG, rather than be pegged to the carnival product. Like if we were doing this in the carnival setting where people were looking forward to Miss SVG being a carnival related event, then we may not have been able to use a jazz band for our opening cocktail. So it allows us to optimize what we can do with the show in terms of the different flavors that we can bring to the Miss SVG.
According to the CDC's chairman, 2 other factors that contributed to the move of the pageant from June to October is the limited amount of time available to prepare the contestants, as well as the fact that by June most people are more focused on the party aspect of Fincy Mass.
We have found over the years that by the time you get into the June timeframe, people are more interested in the party side of the Vincy Mass rather than the pageantry side of the Vincy Mass. So we are hoping that with this experiment, and this was actually driven on us this year by the virtue of the fact that we could not prepare the delegates adequately to get them ready for a June-July festival. So while it was something we envisaged years ago, we're actually driven by circumstances this year, and we really hope that it would be a success.
That was the chairman of the Carnival Development Corporation, Mr. Ricardo Adams. Commander of the Central Division, Superintendent of Police, Camicia Blake of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, RSVGPF, is the recipient of the prestigious 2020 Top Caribbean Career Move Award for Public Law Enforcement from the Association of Caribbean Commissioners of Police, ACCP, and Amalgamated Security Service Limited, ASSL, under the Regional Recognition Awards Program. Superintendent Blake received her award on Monday, June 20th, 2022, during a brief ceremony at the police headquarters in Kingstown. Commissioner of Police Colin John extended congratulations to Superintendent Blake for winning the Top Caribbean Career Move 2020 award and said he hopes that the nominees from the RSVGPF for the 2022 awards would be just as successful. Commissioner John also lauded the contribution of Amalgamated Security Services Limited to regional security and the long-standing partnership it has shared with the Association of Caribbean Commissioners of Police over the last 8 years in combating transnational organized crime, not only in individual countries, but regionally and internationally. Minister of Agriculture Sabota Caesar is calling on the nation's farmers to be more proactive in curbing post-harvest wastage. Caesar, while speaking on Star Radio, appealed to farmers to find alternative markets and uses, such as agro-processing, for their produce that do not meet their required standards.
When persons, for example, are harvesting, let's say, peppers, you may be harvesting the peppers to place on the plastic cling wrap to go onto the supermarket shelves. But there may be a pepper there with a blemish where it doesn't make the grade 1. And usually it's a practice that the farmer will just discard it, just throw it there in the field. I want for persons to be aware that in a time of scarcity globally, that we have to reduce the post-harvest losses and the wastage.
Minister Caesar called on SVG's farmers to be proactive as he pointed out the losses they will incur by just simply leaving this produce that does not meet the Grade 1 standard to rot or be disposed of in other ways.
I want for farmers to be proactive. It's easy, as I said, to just throw the grade 2 or the grade 3 and just leave it there. But what you actually leave in there, you already paid for the fertilizer to bear that pepper. You already paid the farmer to take care of that plant, from planting it to taking care of it and even reaping it. You have already paid for the water that you're using to do the washing, the persons to do the sorting, the transportation that was involved, your own labor as well. And by just discarding it there, you are discarding a percentage of your profit, a percentage of your margins. And in times like these, we have to do what it takes to reduce that.
That was the Minister of Agriculture, Soboto Caesar. Another suggestion made by the minister is for these farmers to seek out the vulnerable members in their community who can benefit from the use of the produce that would otherwise be wasted. On to news in the region. China's ambassador to Guyana, Guo Haiyan, says a documentary by a US-based media outlet Vice News is intended to smear relations between Beijing and Georgetown, and that trade between the two countries has grown by 213% over the past 5 years, reaching US $710 million in 2021. We saw the video come out, this so-called journalist, undercover journalist, that came with a predetermined agenda. The purpose is clear. One of their purposes was to smear the Chinese companies here and attack the China-Guyana cooperation, Haiyan said, going on to say that it's quite clear that it was edited with a malicious purpose. Guyana's two main opposition parties have called for an independent international criminal investigation after Vice President Barrett Jagdeo on Sunday fended off fresh allegations that he had taken bribes from Chinese investors. Jagdeo has already indicated that he intends to take legal action against the Guyana-based Chinese businessman Suzy Rong for sullying his name and engaging in extortion. Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness has condemned the brutal murder of a woman and her 4 children and has vowed that the perpetrator will be brought to justice. Kamisha Wright and her children, Kimina Smith, 15, Shamari Smith, 10, Kafana Smith, 5, and 23-month-old Kishawn Henry, were found with their throats slit in the central parish of Clarendon before dawn on Tuesday. A 23-year-old man who is said to be a relative of the deceased and her children has been detained and is assisting Jamaican police with investigations. In a statement from Jamaica's Office of the Prime Minister, Holness strongly condemned the heinous and senseless act of violence. He noted that the Jamaica Constabulary Force has started its investigations and appealed to persons with information to come forward. On the international scene, a powerful earthquake has killed 1,000 people and left hundreds more injured in Afghanistan. Pictures show landslides and ruined mud-built homes in eastern Paktika province, where rescuers have been scrambling to treat the injured. Taliban leader Hibatullah Akhundzada said hundreds of houses were destroyed and the death toll was likely to rise. It is the deadliest earthquake to strike Afghanistan in 2 decades. In an interview with the BBC, the head of the information for Paktika province, Mohammed Amin Hasivi, said the 1,000 people had died and 1,500 are injured. Rescue teams are still searching for others buried under the ground, he added. The earthquake struck about 44 kilometers from the southeastern city of Khost shortly after 1:30 a.m. local time when many people were asleep at home. And finally, in sports, Sadio Mane has completed a £35 million move from Liverpool to Bayern Munich on a 3-year contract. The Reds will receive €32 million with an additional €6 million based on appearances, plus €3 million for individual and team achievements. Liverpool turned down 2 bids from Bayern before agreeing to a fee for the Senegal forward, who was under contract until next summer. "This is the right time for this challenge," said the 30-year-old. "I felt the great interest of this big club from the start, so there was no doubt in my mind." Mane joined Liverpool for £34 million from Southampton in June 2016 and scored 120 goals in 269 games, finishing last season with 23 goals in all competitions. This has been WeFM's Midday News. I have been your presenter, Rajiv Providence. Join us again at 3 p.m. for WeFM's 3 p.m. News. WeFM's Midday News is brought to you with the kind compliments of Courts, St. Vincent Limited.
Get your game on all month long at Courts. Stream your favorite game or movies on a new tablet. Relax on a new recliner with your snack fresh out of your brand new fridge. Keep your heart and health in check with a home gym set and Wi-Fi compatible smart products and much more. Shop today with no cash and get instant credit. Get your game on. Courts, bringing value home. Conditions apply.
Answer 5 Bible questions and get a chance to win $500.